Hello friends of Private Universe. Today we are doing a little show on the road. I'm going to start this as something to do at least once a month on the road with Carlos Camacho. So here we go. It's one of those things that could turn out quite bad actually, but why not give it a go? I always say, I do a little bit of everything, but nothing well. So here's another one. It's one of, I love watching those documentaries where people are just traveling and talking. I thought, podcast is a little bit different because all you get is the sound of other cars around you, but it sounds like I'm on a train, but it's just the wheels of the car on the road here, the wonderful road here in Sydney's west. And but still, we're alive, friends, and that's the most important bit, being alive, huh? So today I really wanted to just touch base on a few little things, how we can improve our lives. I mean, I'm still obviously searching. No one has the answers, but the things that I find out throughout the week and the month, I would like to share it with you. I mean, I've spoken to quite a few people this week about certain things, and yesterday was Are You OK Day, and that's what motivated me to do something about that, because some people have come up to me and say, look, I don't really believe in depression and so forth, and therefore it doesn't exist. I've also had people that have come to me as adults and said, look, I never used to believe in it. I used to actually tease people that were stressed or depressed or anxious, and now I'm suffering from it, and I realize that it's something real. So it's one of those things that if you don't experience it yourself, you find it very difficult to understand, because it's so complex, isn't it? How can somebody be sad when there's nothing wrong? And so for people that do have a disposition, as we say in psychology, we have a disposition, and biology we say that too. It's almost like a potential, isn't it? But it's not as positive. A disposition is something that can develop in the right circumstances. So some people are born with that disposition to depression or anxiety or mental health issues and so forth. So with depression, sometimes it comes later on in life, depending on situations. And of course, yes, it can become or can be based on social events, without a doubt. Some people may have a disposition for depression and never actually develop it. Lucky them, because I suppose the circumstances weren't right or wrong, I suppose, in this situation, we could say, for those to develop and to, in a way, experience depression. Lucky for those people, of course. And yes, look, if things are okay around our lives, without a doubt, it's less likely that we are going to feel depressed. But there are people that have clinical depression. It's a chemical imbalance. So things may be fine around them, but they will require medication to balance out the chemistry within their brain. There's some neurons and chemicals happening in there that fire certain things that make them feel depressed. That's the way it is, unfortunately. And it's a bit of an Achilles heel, as they say, And we all have those Achilles heels. I mean, literally and figuratively as well, of course. But any mental health issue is something that you wouldn't desire it for your worst enemy, because it's living inside your brain and you can't escape it. Where physical pain, despite it being quite disempowering sometimes and distressing, it's hopefully a lot of the time it does go away. Some people have permanent physical pain, and that is as distressing and creates a huge obstacle in the opportunities to be happy, just like the mental ones do. When things are temporary, I suppose we have faith or hope that eventually one day we'll be fine. And when we break a bone or something, despite it being painful at the time, we know that eventually it's going to get better. And with mental health issues, it's the same. When something happens outside in the environment and that affects us, we know there's going to come a time that we are going to feel better. And that's quite, in one way, makes us optimistic and helps us get through that moment. The problem is, my friends, when we don't see a way out. And a lot of people don't see a way out, unfortunately. And so if you see or come across people that may be in that situation, have a bit of empathy and, more importantly, time. Give them a bit of time, because you just don't know what comes around. And when we are in that situation of need, and I don't know about karma and all these things, but if we put out there a bit of empathy, I think anyway, eventually we open the doors for it to come back to us in one way or another. I don't know how to explain that. I don't think it's anything spiritual or anything like that. I just think there's a bit of a balance in the universe. It's like when you plant in a garden, some die, some don't. Some you water and they die, some you don't water and they flourish, and sometimes the plant does die, and a month later you realize there's a new growth, and there's that balance in nature where that had to happen in order for this other thing to grow and develop and so forth. I think we can't escape that, my friends. We all are part of nature. And so if you feel that there is a balance out there, try to provide your own goodness, if you like. Put it out there, and you'll be surprised. It doesn't take much. Maybe listen to someone for a minute. 60 seconds could be a long time in someone's life. But listen, not so much give advice or think about something else while they're talking. I know it's difficult because we all have our lives, but if you invest that moment, you just don't know. And yes, eventually comes back to us, my friend. So look out for that, not only on Are You OK Day, but just throughout life, work colleagues, family, friends, neighbours, maybe just a stranger on a park bench. You'll be surprised. I know in Australia there's not that culture of approach, and it's quite, we love our personal space and so forth, but a nod and a smile sometimes does a lot. Sometimes we don't want to do it in order not to start a conversation. When someone's lonely, we feel that we can't maybe give them what they need, and so we avoid it. But sometimes you don't even have to talk. Sometimes you can just be there and just give a nod, a smile, a wave, an acknowledgement. It's very important. I always try to go out of my way to try to catch people's eyes as they walk past me. A lot of people are with their head down or with those headphones things in their ears and doing their own thing, walking and looking the other way, so then you don't have eye contact. But that's fine, each one to their own. I still attempt it, and if I get a glimpse and I just try to give them a quick smile. Human beings walking past you, acknowledge them. But and then maybe that might help them. Thinking, oh, that wasn't too bad. I might start doing that myself. And so, my friend. So try to pick up on that, whether you believe in depression or not. We're all here sharing this moment in the world, and one day we won't be 100%. It's, what a coincidence that we're all here at the same time. Could have been born 100 years ago or 5,000 years ago or within 500 years, who knows? So despite our differences, which are minimal, colour of skin or religious ideals or what footy team we back, it's just so minimal. There's very little, or it's insignificant, the biological differences between us. So insignificant that we share 99.9% of most biological information with chimpanzees, let alone with other human beings. So there you go. It's one of those things, my friends, try to take care of each other. This is me now driving, hands-free of course, and just making the best of this long drive that I've got and trying to put something out there. Hopefully it helps someone. If you find that it helps, share it. Don't want anything in return. I don't have a Patreon account or anything like that. I make enough money. This is just a hobby. So if it helps someone, by all means share it and or pass it on, or even just don't share it. Just maybe mention a few things that you might have heard here. That's all I do. I just keep mentioning things I hear out there. Take care, my friends, and remember that existence is a miracle.